You check your bank account. There's money in there, but somehow it doesn't feel like enough. You got paid last week. You didn't go crazy. You didn't make any huge purchases. And yet, it's almost gone. So you tell yourself, I just need to make more money. But then you see people making double, triple your income, and they're still stressed, still broke, still stuck. And that's when it hits you. Maybe it's not just about how much you make. My name is Cole, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people actually build wealth. And more importantly, why most people don't. If you're someone who feels like you're working hard but not really getting ahead financially, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because here's the thing. Most people think money is just about income, but in reality, your financial life moves through 3 distinct phases, and where you're stuck determines almost everything about your future. Phase 1, the survival phase. Let's start with the first phase. This is where most people live, and unfortunately, where many stay. The survival phase is simple. You earn money, and you spend it. End of story. There's no system, no structure, no real plan. It's just paycheck comes in, bills go out, whatever's left disappears. And look, this isn't a character flaw. It's actually how the system is designed. According to data from the U.S. Federal Reserve, nearly 37% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. Think about that for a second. Not $4,000, not $40,000, just $400. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but that's because people don't make enough money. And yes, income matters. But here's what most people don't realize. The survival phase isn't defined by how much you make. It's defined by how you use what you make. I've seen people making $30,000 stuck here, and people making $120,000 stuck here too. Because the real issue isn't income. It's lack of control, the psychology behind it. In this phase, your brain is wired for short-term survival. You're focused on paying rent, covering groceries, avoiding overdraft fees. Your financial decisions are reactive, not intentional. It's like trying to build a house while putting out fires every 5 minutes. There's no space to think long-term, and that leads to a dangerous loop. You feel stressed, leads to you spend. To feel better, leads to you feel worse, leads to repeat. A simple math example. Let's say you make $3,000 per month. Your expenses look like this. Rent, $1,200. Food, $500. Transportation, $300. Subscriptions plus random spending, $400. Other bills, $600. That's $3,000. Zero left. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Even if you got a raise to $3,500, most people don't suddenly start saving $500. They upgrade, better apartment, more eating out, new subscriptions. And just like that, you're still stuck. How to escape phase 1? Look, escaping this phase isn't about becoming perfect overnight. It's about one simple shift. You need to create margin. That means tracking your spending. Yes, actually doing it. Cutting just 10 to 15% of unnecessary expenses, building your first $1,000 emergency buffer. Because once you stop living paycheck to paycheck, you unlock the next phase. Phase 2, the stability phase. This is where things start to feel better. You've got some breathing room. You're not panicking every time a bill hits. You might even have a few thousand saved, a steady income, some control over your spending. And this is where most people think, okay, I made it. But this is also where people get stuck for decades. The hidden trap. Here's what most people don't realize. The stability phase feels safe, but it's actually where financial progress slows down the most. Because instead of building wealth, you start maintaining comfort. You think, I'm doing okay. I'll invest later. I deserve to enjoy my money. And again, none of that is wrong. But it becomes a problem when comfort replaces growth. The math that changes everything. Let me show you something. If you invest $500 per month at an average 8% return, after 10 years, approximately $91,000. After 20 years, approximately $295,000. After 30 years, approximately $745,000. Now compare that to doing nothing for 10 years, And then starting, you don't just lose 10 years, you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. You lose hundreds of thousands of dollars because of one thing, compounding. In phase 2, your brain shifts from survival to comfort. And comfort is dangerous because it tells you you've done enough, even when you haven't. This is where lifestyle inflation quietly takes over. You upgrade your life at the same rate your income grows. So instead of building wealth, you build a more expensive version of your current life. Now, you might be thinking, I'll invest when I make more. But here's the reality. If you don't invest when it's small, you won't invest when it's big, because the habit isn't there, and money amplifies behavior. It doesn't fix it. How to escape phase 2. This is where it gets really interesting. Escaping phase 2 isn't about earning more. It's about forcing your money to work for you. Here's what that looks like. Automate investing. 10 to 20% of your income goes straight into investments before you even see it. Keep your lifestyle slightly below your income. Not drastically, just intentionally. Focus on assets, not appearances. Investments greater than status symbols. Because once your money starts generating money, you enter the final phase. Phase 3, the wealth phase. This is where everything flips. You're no longer trading time for money. Your money is working, whether you are or not. This includes investments, businesses, real estate, passive income streams. And here's the key difference. Your income is no longer limited by your effort. What this actually looks like. Let's say you've built a portfolio of $500,000. At an 8% return, that's $40,000 per year without working. Now, imagine $1 million. This is why wealthy people don't stress the same way. It's not just about how much they have. It's about how their money behaves. The biggest misconception. People think the wealth phase is about luxury, cars, watches, vacations. But in reality, it's about freedom. Freedom to say no to bad opportunities, take risks, spend time how you want. The psychology shift. In this phase, your mindset changes completely. You stop asking, how much does this cost? And start asking, what does this return? Every dollar becomes a tool, not just something to spend. So, where are you stuck? Here's the honest part. Most people are stuck between phase 1 and phase 2. They're stable, but not building. And the reason is simple. They never make the intentional shift. The real game. Look, this isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding where you are and what the next move is. If you're in phase 1, focus on control and margin. If you're in phase 2, focus on investing and growth. If you're in phase 3, focus on scaling and protecting. Because each phase requires a different strategy. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't get rich by accident. You move through these phases on purpose. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. $1 at a time. So, here's what I want you to do. Be honest with yourself. Which phase are you in right now? And more importantly, what's the one thing you can do this week to move forward? If this gave you clarity, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're currently stuck. Because once you see the phases, you can't unsee them. And that's where everything starts to change.